Good morning, everybody. Welcome. I see that I looked away for like 1 second. You guys are already filling up the chat, which I love. That's awesome. Yes, we are doing Hamilton today. I was going to do Annie. Then I saw the comments and I was like, did we just comment Annie because we wanted to do the dog Sandy too? And that was just for our dog episode. If you guys want to do Annie, we can do for sure a full episode of just Annie stuff. But there's so many cool things about Hamilton. It actually filled up the entire episode anyway. So this episode is going to be completely Hamilton themed. And if we want to do another episode, I just kicked Slider in the face. If we want to do another episode, we can do an episode of Annie too. All right. I just want to make sure you guys can see me. You guys can hear me all right. Slider wants to say hi. Here he goes right here. Hey guys, he's getting so big, I could barely pick him up with one hand. Like he's actually now like really heavy to pick up with one hand. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. I want to do Annie so bad because I acted as. Oh, very cool, Hadassah. That's awesome. He's okay. That's what a shell is for, right? Just kidding. But yeah, we can definitely do Annie then. If you want to do Annie, I'm gonna write it down. I think I kept it down. Let me see. We've got. I literally have like crazy notes in my like notebook about all the different stuff that you guys want to do. Yeah, okay. We do have Annie. I did keep it on there. I didn't get rid of it completely. So yeah, we'll do an episode of Annie, and then any other Broadway plays we can do too. All right. In the meantime, okay, let's get started. So today's episode. Here we go. Today's episode morning game plan. We start off with the art review. If you look up at the top of the screen, that's where we have our whole timeline of events. Then we have our quote of the day, which is where I share an artist quote and get a little inspiration in the morning. And then we also do the morning mindfulness too, which is where we do a little kind of like meditation, but also inspired off of the quote of the day, just to get our head straight into the right mindset for drawing today. And then I have two icons. Now I'm changing it up for this new season, season 2, where I'm going to show an icon instead of giving you guys a clue word. And I think that way you guys can kind of guess what we're going to draw too. So you can see the two icons on the top of the screen. You can guess what we're going to do. Yes, Slider is a cutie. Maybe one of these days, Mary Shelley will be awake in time for morning cartooning. She usually sleeps right through it. Then we're going to take our karate break up next. That's the halfway mark through the show. Then we're going to do one more drawing activity. Then we're going to do our challenge of the day, where I send you guys off with a challenge. And then morning mail, and then we say our goodbyes. Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for this new season, I would love to incorporate them into this new season and make it better for you guys. That's really the only reason why I would make any updates. Is just for you guys. So if there's anything that you guys think of and you have any suggestions, let me know, and I can definitely try to add them in. And I would love to add them in. All right. So our morning quote of the day. Oh no, I'm sorry. Our art review is first. I just went over the whole schedule and I forgot it already. Okay, I'm writing notes to myself now. Okay, for season 2, episode 1, which is last episode on Tuesday, we did creepy characters, and Zoe sent in some amazing suggestions and some drawings that she did. Zoe, I'm so impressed with this one all the way on the right side. That background that you did. Episode on the Dragon Prince. Yes, I'll write that down. We should do a whole like Miyazaki episode. Is that Miyazaki or no? Good morning, Mo. Oh wow. You know what day it is. Congratulations. Yeah, so check this out, guys. Look at Zoe's background that she did. Really cool. I love the translucency of the shapes and stuff. It reminds me of when in Bug's Life they found out that they knew it but they didn't know it, and they found out that plants were translucent, where you could kind of see through the plants and the trees. and the leaves, and so that really added an extra element to their to the design for A Bug's Life when they were making that movie. But yeah, other than that, I love that you tried out a different style. We did the Tim Burton style last episode, so if you guys want to check that out, it's already online, and you can watch and you can draw along. And we did like Tim Burton-esque art drawing, so very nice job, Zoe. If you guys want to submit art to me so that I can share it on next episode on Tuesday, send it to me at noahfontana@gmail.com. I love hearing about all the different kinds of art that you guys do. Even if I don't respond right away, I definitely read it and I go through them all just to make sure I don't miss anybody each week. Or you could also tag me on Instagram. We have hashtag Teacher Noah and hashtag Morning Cartooning for me to find it. Either of those ways. If you need to draw with chalk help. Not sure why you need to draw with chalk, but we can definitely help with that. Our quote of the day is Lin-Manuel Miranda. If you guys don't know him, he's the creator of Hamilton. He wrote it, and it's kind of an interesting story because he started it by rapping the first song that he did for the president, like years before the actual play even came out, which is really cool. But he's obviously the American composer, lyricist, actor, singer, rapper, producer, playwright, and most commonly known for creating the Broadway musicals In the Heights and Hamilton. I don't know that much about In the Heights. Definitely want to check that out. But Hamilton I've seen and I loved it. It was really cool and the music is really great. And that's on Disney Plus. You could watch it there, like I think you guys already said in the comments. But Lynn said that you are perfectly cast in your life, and I can't imagine anyone but you in the role. Go play. Which I love it. It embodies who I feel like he really is, where he just knows who he is and he's just playing that role in his life to the fullest. And so that's why I wanted him to inspire our morning mindfulness. So as we take a moment to breathe, I want you to close your eyes and think about what makes you different. Sometimes we don't like the certain elements about us that make us different from others, and it can make us feel like an outcast. Miranda is encouraging us to embrace who we are completely, though. All the little things about what makes us different are there to fulfill the part we are meant to play. So all the little things that you might find annoying about yourself that make you different, that people might even make fun of you for, those are the things that are going to help you do what you're here to do. As we move forward onto the next portion of class, I challenge us to see our differences not as things that we need to hide, but as elements that make us special and able to play our part in life. So try to think of those things, take a deep breath, let it all out, and let's move on to the drawing. All right, so our first part of the show is we're going to talk about print, and print being the printed money. All right, now don't get any ideas. I'm not trying to teach you guys how to counterfeit money at all, but we are going to look into how they created the artwork for money. So this was the original artwork for the $10 bill. This is the front and the back side. It had a picture of Abraham Lincoln on it. Yeah, it looks very different than what we have today. Now, then there was a guy named John Trumbull, and this is a painting, a self-portrait that he did of himself, and he did a lot of famous paintings for the president and for the United States at that time. And he actually, what's interesting was when he was in school, he lost the sight from one eye, so he did all these paintings with only one eye, and they say that that might be why he has such a detailed approach to his paintings, that like he became very meticulous after that because he didn't want to mess anything up. So John Trumbull, he painted a lot of famous paintings, such as this one, which is the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And you can see what's really interesting too is that aside from it being very detailed, he did this by meeting with each of the signees, I think they're called, the people that signed the Declaration of Independence. He met with them individually, met with their families, and would do like little paint study sketches of them, and then he composited them all together. There was one of the people who signed it. I forget what his name was, but he died before he signed it, but then he died before Trumbull could get the painting of him. And so if you look, this guy right here, let me see if I can draw it. There. This guy right here, his face is kind of off, angled, because the sketch that he had was only from that angle, and so he couldn't adjust it. So he just drew his face at a different angle in the painting, which is kind of funny. All these little facts that you would think this is all just like a historical interpretation of what happened, but it actually was pieced together piece by piece, piece by piece. All right. Now, Trumbull also painted the famous painting of Alexander Hamilton that you can see right here on the left. And this painting was used later to create the now modern face of the $10 bill. So if you look, these are the two comparisons. So we have his painting right here, and then we have the actual $10 bill drawing. Pretty cool. Now, this is the Alexander Hamilton this is the Alexander Hamilton that is the main character in the play Hamilton, played by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And what's kind of interesting too is that in 2015, the Treasury Secretary announced that they were going to replace this portrait of Hamilton on the $10 bill with a portrait of, they hadn't decided, but they wanted to be some woman. And they wanted to start that in 2020, which would have been this year. But because of how popular Hamilton got, they actually decided to leave this Hamilton on here. And you can see right here at the bottom it says Hamilton. So yeah, so that's a funny reason too, that now that they've kept him on here because Hamilton the play became so popular. So what I want to do is I want to draw us on the $10 bill or us on a different bill. That's going to be our challenge for the day. So for right now, you can follow along. You can either try to copy with me what I want to draw. I want to draw myself, or you can try to just draw your own person. Okay, so here, let's start. And my apologies for all the noise in the background. That is not Slider doing construction on my steps outside. That is humans. And Tony? Oh, cool. I don't know who Tony is, but hi, Tony. Zoe, with what? All right. Yes, so let's continue. I'm just going to draw myself from this angle. I'm going to do a quick sketch. And I'm just going to show you how I go about doing it. So I'm going to take the same angle. We're going to superimpose my head onto the $10 bill after this. So I'm just going to try to make sure I'm in like the right pose. There you go. And once we get the initial sketch in, then we're going to draw it in as it actually looks. Oh, it was going to be Harry Tubman. Oh, that's cool. I remember hearing about Harry Tubman. I think I do, Isabel. I think I'm right there with you. I think I definitely do remember it being Harry Tubman. Okay. This is going to be a little bit more of a realistic drawing than we've done in the past. So this will be fun for you guys that don't typically draw realistically. Yes, yes. You can draw yourselves. That's going to be the rest of the challenge. So just worry about maybe making this one like a practice run for drawing yourself. I'm going to draw me. If you guys want, you can try to follow along and draw me, or you can draw yourself, whichever one you like. Oh, that would be cool too. Yes, draw one of your characters. Okay. Not sure about it. Yes, okay, cool. Just making sure I'm caught up on the comments. Yes, if you want to create money, I mean, that could be kind of a cool part of your story too. Um, if they pay with money that has like your characters on it, you know. Zoe, I feel like that would be something that you can have. Maybe not even dollar bills, but maybe it's coins, you know, like gold coins that has your character's faces on it. All right, and I'm gonna still be wearing my onesie too. It's literally gonna be what I'm wearing right now. All right, now I'm gonna blow up this picture of the $10 bill. There we go. That way we can see it nice and big. Okay. And now we're gonna grab this color, which is basically just like a shade lighter than black. And this is like a very detailed. Can I draw you? Okay, yeah, I can draw you next. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna use. I think I'm gonna use the pen that we used for Tim Burton, actually. This gents, just which is just like a straight line like that. All right. So the idea here is that it's called almost looks like an etching, like a hatching that they did, where they shaded in almost everything just using lines. All right, so let's try. Let's give it a shot. All right. There we go. And I think I always like the eyes. The eyes were very like um, very detailed, and also very like just aesthetically pleasing. How's that look? I think it's a little too big, but I like it. Where's my new cartoon? What new cartoon? What are you guys talking about in the comment? Okay, here we go. Alright, I'm excited to see how you guys' characters look. I feel like this is coming out looking pretty legit, right? Like I could see this on a $2 bill. Oh, an episode on self-portraits. Yeah, of course. Let's see. Well, I think there's a couple things going on there. One, faces are super hard to draw, self-portrait wise. Two, people in general are really hard to draw. But also, when you look at yourself in the mirror, I was just looking at this. When you see yourself in the mirror, you're seeing a reflection, so it's not exactly what you look like. And even the different camera lenses can change the way your shape is. So depending on if you're using like a phone to take a selfie, that might not actually be how other people see you. So it looks like that. Okay, let me see. I'll show you that. I believe I changed the stream. Let's compare it to. Okay, so here's the original. Oh yeah. Okay. So it's for the taper. So here's the settings for the taper with the brush, the way it was originally. I got rid of the taper right here, and so it would be that top section, the topmost section. I can't show you any more than pointing at it, but it's the very top one where it says the pressure taper, and I moved the little blue circles all the way to the left and right side, and that way it won't taper on its own, and it'll stay the same shape. But yeah, we can definitely go over drawing your self-portrait, and then that way we can help you guys out getting a little bit better. It's definitely a fun thing. I've definitely drawn myself a bunch of times, so you get better at it each time, and you can see your style changes, your like physical appearance changes too. So it's definitely a cool thing to keep on practicing. I really don't love how this nose came out, but we'll see how they do it with Hamilton. Okay, let me see what else we can do. I know I messed around with it a fair amount. I kind of forgot. Maybe it's, let's see. Okay, maybe look at the different ones. You see where it says size, that says none, opacity is none, pressure is 80%, tip is 70%, touch taper, size none, opacity none, tip is 70%. Do you have all of those the same as that? That should be what, I think that's all I changed. I don't think I changed the shape too much. For the grain, rendering, wet mix, color dynamics. Oh, maybe try this too if you're using the Apple Pencil. All these are down low except for the size, which is max. I don't think that would actually help it. So I would say that it's about the taper in here, and the pressure and the tip. and possibly the stroke path. Spacing is none, streamline is 10%, jitter is 10%, fall off is none. I think it might be fall off too. Try that. All right. Oh, this is the original one. Gotcha. That's probably what you have happening right now. Let me know if that helped it at all. Funny story about my ears. I once fell off a stool and cracked my ear open. And my grandmother was at my place at the time, and she tried to help me because she thought I had a splinter in my ear, and instead of the splinter, she was actually pulling out the cartilage in my ear. Literally nothing's happening. All right. Let me see. Okay. Let's see. Isabella, can you email me to about the pen, and I'll send you the pen that I made. Okay, because I don't remember all the changes that I made to it because I was just literally just messing around with it. But make sure when you change the settings with your pen, you duplicate it. So that's why I have two. So you just go like this and you hit duplicate, and then make sure you're changing the duplicate and not the original brush. Because then if you ever want the original brush back, you'd have to delete all of the changes that you made. So if you email it to me, if you look right here, I can just share it with you, and I'll just send you the brush itself. What if I pointed out the two differences? I don't know what other differences I made other than the taper. So if you made those changes, I think that might be it. But we're going to pause this right now. It's coming along. When you zoom out, I think it looks a little bit better at it. And that's going to be part of the challenge is to finish that drawing. We're also going to do another one that I'm going to show you too in a little bit. But for right now, it's time for our karate break. Make sure I don't kick Slide in the face again. I have no idea where he is. All right, everybody. Time to relax. Time to pause. Oops, not here. Time to pause. Time to breathe. Okay, we're going to take a break, stretch your bodies, and get loosened up again. Because if you're getting frustrated with your drawing, or if you're just getting too into it, I've even heard people say that it's a good idea to stop while you're in a good flow, because then you're going to be more excited and inclined to jump back into that flow too. So let's start by drinking a sip of water. Okay. And we're going to stretch your hands like that. Boo, boo. Stretch your hands like this. Good. Okay. Stretch like this. Stretch like that. Pull this one down. Good. Okay. Let me make sure you guys can see me. We can stretch your arms across like this. And stretch like that. Okay. Alright, and then spin your neck around. Right to the left. And then rotate it around to the right. Good. Up and down. Side to side. You can even touch your toes if you can. I can't. But let's do some Sensei says, okay? We're going to start off by doing a couple of the moves that we've already learned. Then I'm going to make it a little bit more advanced, and then really advanced, okay? So for starters, let's do Sensei says rising block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Oh, and for those of you that haven't played this game with us before, when I say Sensei says, it's like Simon says, don't do the move unless I say it. I'm going to try to show you most of the moves so you can follow along too. Okay, let me tilt this down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Sensei says straight punch. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says middle down block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says middle block. Down block. Did you do the down block? Did I get anybody? I think I got Zoe last time. Did I get you this time? Okay. New round. Here we go. Now we're just gonna add a little bit more. I'm gonna add some like attacks with your hands. Okay. Here we go. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says straight punch. Sensei says straight punch. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says spear hand. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says back fist. Sensei says back fist. Sensei says back fist. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says ridge hand. Dasa, I got you. Sensei says ridge hand. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says vertical fist. Sensei says vertical fist. Sensei says rising block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says back fist. Sensei says back fist. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says ridge hand. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says ridge hand. Sensei says ridge hand. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says ridge hand. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says ridge hand. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says ridge hand. Sensei says shoot do. Shoot do. Did I get you on that one? I was even getting confused with myself with that one. All right, let's try one more round. This is like as fast as I can go. We're adding kicks, and here we go. Ready? Sensei says front kick. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says front kick. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says front kick. Sensei says straight punch. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says side kick. Sensei says straight punch. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says side kick. Sensei says side kick. Side kick. Sensei says back kick. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says front kick. Sensei says side kick. Back kick. Did I get anybody with that last back kick? I'm so, wow, Hadassah, I got you out. That's crazy. Isabella, nice job. All right, okay, hopefully you guys are loosened up now. Now we can do our last portion of the class. Here we go. Let's do it. Oops, not that. So our last part is the painting part. And this one, I'm excited to see what you guys come up with for this one. All right. So these are the original paintings. This is by Trombell right here. This is Hamilton on the smaller right. This is Hamilton, Trombell. And we're going to try to recreate a presidential portrait of ourselves. Okay? So you guys can choose to dress up if you want. That could be kind of fun. When we do our portrait class is to actually get dressed up and to do a portrait. But here we go. I tried out the gouache brush the other day when I was teaching Sunday school. I was painting with the kids, and it was really fun. So in the painting portion right here, painting, the gouache brush. This one was really fun to use. That one is that small though. Okay. So what first I'm going to do is I'm going to just take the colors. I'm already on a different layer, so we can just start like that. We're just going to fill in this little like section. Now, if you guys have watercolors, actually don't do this with watercolors because this is not how you would paint with watercolors. But if you have paints, I'm going to show you how you can actually do it if you're doing a real painting. And a lot of people, when they paint digitally, they still use the same process. So I want to show you a little bit about the painting process. So this is a little bit too dark, so I would start more with, I thought that was Slider knocking on my door. There we go. I want it a little more orangey, I think. There we go. That seems like a good color. So this is how you would start. You would cover your entire canvas with like a light wash. This is still actually a little bit like really light. This is really dark. It would be more like this. There we go. And this is almost like the equivalent of using like an Instagram filter on your pictures. If you have a bunch of pictures, and it kind of ties the whole thing together, which is kind of cool. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much that's it. It just ties the whole picture together. It gives you a base. So you're not working off of white, because then if any white shows through, that also looks pretty bad. And so here, let's draw ourselves. Okay, we can draw. You kind of just want to map in like generally where you are. And this sometimes you could do before the wash, but since we're doing it digitally, we can do it after the wash. And you can draw. There we go. Like really rough. This is obviously me, and not Hamilton. Or maybe I'll make my hands do the same thing that he's doing. So, okay. Forgot how my Wednesday looked for a second there. Okay, cool. And I'll even lighten this if I want. Okay, here we go. And now we're just going to paint right over this layer, back with the gouache. Okay, how you guys doing? Okay. Now already you can kind of see why certain sketches look like this when you see like unfinished artwork pieces when they have the same sketch over the wash, because that's how a lot of painters start. Next we would do the midtones. We're just going to block in the shapes. You know what? Okay, here we go. I really should have done the sketch on a different layer. Let's see, but I'm going to have that instead. Now I'm historical, yes. There we go. Okay. So we're keeping this separate. There we go. Good. This is my overlay sketch. I'm just going to have it as regular, I think, actually. There we go. Okay. Now I can paint underneath it without worrying about the actual final results. Okay. Cool. So while you're working, we're going to start with what's called the midtones. And this is not the lightest lights, not the darkest darks. This is just like the middle colors for everything. Okay, so for like my skin, let's pick this kind of color. I'm just going to block everything in. For my hat, now we're not going to use black because black is like a dead color, so we can just use a really dark blue for the hat. And by dead, I mean like it doesn't have life in it. Colors have life, but black, since it doesn't have any color in it, it actually just kind of kills the life in your painting. Even if something looks black, it's usually best to not use a true black, because there's also so many different like slight variations you can do. Even if it's just slightly blue, that's usually better than going straight for black. Okay, we have this purple color. Onesie. Oh, we also have my skin color for my neck. There we go. And then the blue. And around this point, this is where we can stop using our initial top sketch that we did. Go get rid of that. Cool. All right, so these are our midtones, and if you, the reason that they're called midtones is because they're right in between. So if we look at the color wheel, right, they're not totally dark and they're not totally light. They're right in the middle, and also with their hue and their intensity, they're usually roughly right in the middle too. And so that's why they're called midtones. Same thing with this color. I mean, it's a little bit higher just because any darker would be like dirt colored, or be like just kind of like a grayish color. But all of these, if you squint, they kind of just blend in together because they're all the same value. And value meaning how light or dark they are. Now we're going to take these colors and we're going to tap in with the lightest lights and the darkest darks. Okay? I'm going to just steal these colors, these highlight colors, right from here, from these guys. Okay. Whoa, too light. There's light on my cheek. Maybe some on my ear. Maybe a lighter pink color for my lips. I'll highlight. And some darkness for my beard. My beard doesn't have a whole lot of lightness, so it's not going to show up that much right now. All right. We also want the highlights for this blue. There we go. And typically, like if you're doing this, I would definitely highly suggest going off of a photo reference just to get these colors down right. I've done this enough time that I can kind of guess where the highlights would be. It's definitely not perfect. I should probably still use a reference. But for right now, it's okay. Let's see what else we can do. Oh, the purple, yes. And my hands too. And now we would go in with the darkest darks. So for the skin, here we go. Let's get down to like the darkest, wherever. So what we're doing right now is we're finding the darkest spots, like this on his eye, right here. Also right here, this is pretty dark. And we're going to fill those colors in for yourself too. And it's not supposed to look good yet. We're not there yet, so don't worry about that. Let's see. This would be the shadow underneath my chin. Okay. Now we can add the beard in. We're doing time good. Darkest starts the beard. The beard really does add a lot, and the eyebrows will add a lot too. Okay. And this is all just so you remember, still with a wash brush in the painting setting. Oh, you're leaving. All right. I'll see you later. And we're also going to add in the darkest darks for the blue onesie too. There we go. Let's see how dark my onesie get. It's almost a little bit more purple too. There we go. This is what going to art school for 4 years will do. Teaches you how to do all these random kind of things. All right, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. And darkest darks for the purple, and then I think we can go into the actual details. And purple probably won't have the darkest darks right there, but we can use this purple to draw the lines and just kind of like stick those in. All right. My head's way too big, but other than that, I think it looks good. Let's see if I can easily just adjust that. Well, I've had the practice of drawing myself for a few times. Let's make this head a little bit smaller. Voila. Okay, cool. Now we can go into the details. Now with the details, it's really fun. You can do like the little like dots of like color. That's what we're gonna do. But now already, you see from just doing the lights and the darkest darks, you can kind of get a good idea of the person. I think this darkness in the eye is a little bit too dark. I personally love doing more an impressionist approach, so my paintings always look very like painterly, as my teachers would say. So I add lots of different colors. So when I look at, also from reference, thanks guys. When I look at the reference, like in real life, I just pick up on all the little different colors that you can see. Let's go. Let's keep on going. So there's all these little like nuanced colors in my beard. All these different colors in your eyes and your cheeks. There's like greens and blues and all these different really cool colors. So I like adding all those in. And you just keep on kind of like, almost like you're sculpting, you know, or you're molding it out of clay. Okay. You guys are so cute. Thanks for the support. I hope I can see what you guys are working on too. I think we need to fill in the eyes a little bit more. But that'll get not quite a white. That'll leave for the shine. There we go. And you see how just like adding a little bit of white really like makes the eyes pop a lot. And for the shadows, I like to kind of use like a purplish hue. Okay. And also, if you ever watch like a time lapse of painters too, you'll see them reworking the painting. So like you see the nose getting messed up, like I just did. And then what's cool with oil paints is that you literally can just do layers on layers and layers, and um, it'll never, yeah, it'll just take longer to dry. But that's why some of the painters like still have paintings that are still wet, like Vincent Van Gogh. Um, some of his paintings are still wet, which is crazy because he did them a long time ago. All right. You guys like the style? I'm glad. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do a new layer for the rest of the details, and also you can see too how they have different things with the backgrounds. We can add a little bit more for the background too, and kind of like cut into this character. So if I want to do, I think it would be kind of funny actually to do like a green screen background. I don't know how that'll look though. Probably make it look really obnoxious, but I think it's accurate. So. And even if you cover up the background and that wash layer that you did at the beginning completely, it's still important that you do it just because it does tie in the rest of the painting together. So whatever color you use, usually like golden kind of brown is the way to go. I just destroyed the shape of my hat. Here we go. There we go. And that's what you do with as a painter. Like you're always kind of like tweaking and adjusting and fixing things. Um, and that's why also paintings are like hardly ever done because there's just so much to work with and so much that you can play around with. I feel like that's not quite the right face shape. It's close. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right. And the same thing with the onesie. You can just do the same. You'd want to blend in these colors a little bit more too. You know. There we go. And then you want to blend in some colors like these tones. You want to blend in the darkest tones and the lightest lights, but at the same time you also want to create some sharper lines too. So like for right here, where it actually is a different. You want to make sure that you know that this is different. but you don't really want to try to do outlines in painting. That's not really what it's meant for. I mean, you can. There are artists that do that, and it looks great. And I'm not like slamming it at all. It's just not necessarily what it's best for. If you wanted to do outlines, I don't know if I would go with oil paints. Which is definitely hard, and that's just something that a lot of like new painters that are trying it out for the first time struggle with, because they are inclined to like rely on their line work a lot, and it's hard to trust that you can do the coloring as well. Yeah. All right, I want to stop it right there. This is as far as we got. Not bad, not bad. Hopefully, you guys is an abstract oil painter. Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. Definitely send me some of her work, Hadassah. I would love to see it. Okay. So for the homework or the challenge of the day is to draw yourself in your currency, in the currency style, and what amount would your bill be? You could do that one, or you could do like the presidential painting if you want to. You can also, if you're doing the dollar bill, you can do the reverse. And you can draw your house on the back instead of like the White House, or I forget what is on the reverse side of the Hamilton one. I think it's the White House. But yeah, that's the challenge for today. And our morning mail comes from Ashley. It was our first time, I think, 2 episodes ago. She said, "Thank you, so cool." She did the doppelganger one where we drew our dog versions of ourselves, and this one came out really cute. I like how they both have bows on them, and I would love to see it with some watercolors too, Ashley, if you are here and just observing. But I like it. It reminds me of Degas. He did the sketches of the ballerinas, and he did the pastels of the ballerinas, and it kind of has that vibe to it too. So very nice job. I like it. Very nice. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe to this video. Let's see. Did I do it yet? Yes, I did do it. Okay. I'm number 2. Good. Subscribe so that you can just get notified when I go live again, and you don't have to even like worry about it. Comment below what I should draw next. If you want to support, there's a link below. You can just click on it. It's now changed to my Venmo link, so it just goes straight to me, and then I can buy like a new speaker or something like that. If you guys have those kind of suggestions too. And stay up to date on the morning cartooning news by following me on Instagram, which is also linked below too. Next episode is Star Wars themed. Have you guys ever heard of 30-Second Leia? It's going to be an intense episode, so get ready. I'm very excited for this one, and that'll be on next Tuesday. So, looking forward to that with you guys, and I'll see you next time on Tuesday. Bye.